Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the Bravo Countdown. This week, we're counting down our favourite moments from Vanderpump Rules Reunion Part 2. It was juicy. And Real Housewives of New Jersey Reunion Part 1, which was a bombshell of an episode. Amazing. But first, let's talk about the latest news to come out of the Bravoverse this week, starting with that postcard.
Oh my God. I feel like I've been hearing about this postcard all week. Like we've heard from different people, haven't we? Like we've had Brock and Sheena were talking about it on, Brock and Sheena were talking about it with Jax and Brittany. They did a sort of podcast swap this week. So Brock spoke about it and was, not holding back with where he stood. And then also, have you managed to listen yet to Brad on the Vial Files? That was a good episode. I really enjoyed that. So he got in a little bit.
Really good
insight. So basically as Ariana's best friend and like a former best friend of Tom too, he really had all the inside knowledge. So well spoken and such a lovely guy as well.
Yeah,
he just seemed fab. Yeah, me too. So from what we know, this postcard was sent after Ariana's Watch What Happens live appearance, which is quite telling, I think, because she sort of said, oh yeah, she's been sending letters to the house, but obviously I've not opened them. I can't, it's illegal. And now we know she sent a postcard with lightning bolts on it. Like, are you okay?
I know. And saying, saw this and thought of you or something. I thought, really?
Yeah.
But I do think, like, and especially from having watched her interview in this part of the reunion, I think she genuinely thinks that, like, that's it now, everything's fine, like, her and Tom are together, like, we're all good, like, it's just, everything's normal now, and once she gets away from wherever she is, it'll just be, like, absolutely fine, and that everyone will just accept it. I genuinely think
life goes on.
Yeah.
No, totally. It is bonkers.
To have the absolute cheek to send that to Ariana's house when, I mean, maybe you don't know she's still living there. Maybe Tom's spinning her a story that Ariana isn't living there anymore. But has she been under a rock? Well, maybe. Maybe she has been under a rock. Maybe she hasn't had any access to things. But even, you know, you might just even think to yourself, gosh, what if she was there? I wouldn't want her to see that. But she just doesn't seem to give a shit. Yeah.
And really it seems so deliberate, I think, with it being a postcard. Like, even if you had to send this postcard, right, put it in an envelope, you know, seal it. It just seems very deliberate to me that that's what she chose to do. But it is bizarre. I mean, all of her actions have just been so bizarre during this whole thing, like we're seeing on the reunion. But yeah, it's mental.
I know. And what about Tom being on the phone to her when we someone posted that photo? Yeah, he was on a flight. Where was he? I don't know where they were going.
I'm not sure, probably to one of his shows. I mean, he's so actively out there. He's been posting up a storm this morning. Like, I've literally just looked through his stories. Yeah, so he's been playing, I don't know where, somewhere in America, obviously, but he's posting up lots of photos of the crowd. It looks really busy as well. And it's like fans posting. A lot of fans now, shockingly, are sort of posting like, oh, you know, even though he's done X, Y, and Z, he's a great performer and all this stuff. And then he's reposting. One fan, this is shocking, posted a photo of a lightning bolt necklace and tagged him, and he's gone and reposted it. Like, it is just unbelievable. I know. I'm like, are you okay? But yeah, it's going back to the plane photo that someone got. Yeah, he's kind of blatantly just, you know, on the phone to her. Like, you can see it's her full name. And we know that during the affair, he had changed her name in his phone to Jamie or something, I think. So yeah, it's back to Raquel Levis or whatever. Yeah, I just think it's so odd. So yeah, clearly they're still in contact or, you know, speaking.
Do you think they're going to last? Like, do you think they'll
really don't
last
know.
until season 11 if they were to both come back? Do you think they would still be together?
You bloody hope so, wouldn't you? Like, otherwise, why have you bothered? I don't know.
Yeah.
It just seems
Yeah.
insane to me that they've completely, you know, again, like blown up both their lives for this. You would hope that they'd give it a fair go. But yeah,
Like,
I'm not sure.
Think they match. I don't think they match at all.
No,
in terms of,
I don't
I
either.
don't see how they can be compatible, but I do see and did see it from that reunion episode. He just sort of bosses her about and she does everything he says. So it's obviously that sort of dynamic, and that's maybe how it'll work short term. But I just can't see them like having fun or having a sort of a deep conversation that's more than just obviously their affair. That is what they kind of had
The physical.
It's like that's what they had. Yeah, as opposed to actually.
That's right.
And Ariana did say it in the reunion episode. She said, wait until real life sets in, or Lala said it, wait until real life sets in. They're not going to be able to, like, I don't think they would make it work. And I know everyone keeps saying, like, hopefully they will make it work out and, like, make it worth it. But I'm also like, no, that would be the last thing I would want if I was Ariana, if I'm honest.
Oh, yeah, of course. Like, for them to actually see through. You just think from their point, like their perspective, you'd think they'd try and give it a go. But I mean, do I see them as, you know, sort of working out, or like you said, when responsibility kicks in and all of this? No, I don't think it's a sustainable relationship. Look how it started on a 7-month long affair of lies. Like, it's crazy. But was there anything else from the week, or should we get into the episode? What else did we have?
All I would say is we had a lot of podcast content again this week, but listening to Jax and Brittany on Sheena's podcast, and then Sheena and Brock on Jax and Brittany's, it was great. It was really good.
I loved it. I really loved it.
And it really made me think I would quite like to have them back next season. I would.
Do you know, I agree with you. And I particularly loved Brittany. I don't know, there was just something so sweet about her. And I've gone like back and forward sometimes with Brittany when she was on the show. I really liked her in the beginning, and then I went off for a little bit, but I just thought she came across so sweet, so genuine, so lovely. And that's consistent across everyone that knows her and has met her. You hear like a lot of people say that about her. Like Heather McDonald, for example, she's like, anyone I came into contact with, they always had the sweetest things to say about Brittany. It was always consistent. When Jax was on her podcast. So I agree with you. I really enjoyed it. And they're so embedded in that group still, like they're genuinely friends. So yeah, I think I wouldn't mind seeing them come back next season. It seems like that might be the case.
And I think we've seen a lot of growth from Jax, genuinely. I think he seems different.
Agreed.
So
yeah,
but I guess their only worry, and Brittany did mention it, is if it went back or it like started, you know, deteriorating what they've built up in the last few years since being away from the show. And I do think, you know, Jax very much felt like he had a role to play in Vanderpump Rules, and he did it really well, but he would need to find a new dynamic, a new, you know, there would need to be something different for him to not go back to that, which we don't really want. At the end of the day, he's a 44-year-old man.
40 something. Who knows? And a dad now. It's crazy. But let's get into the episode, because I really enjoyed part 2. And I think it was nice to see, we got like a bit more of sort of other storylines that we touched on as well. Like we got a lot about, you know, Lala and Randall. We got Ali come out. So it wasn't just Scandival, but there was still a lot of great moments in the episode. I did see a few people quite disappointed with it online. Did you? Obviously just like it maybe wasn't as dramatic as other as what they were expecting, and maybe because, you know, it was all this build up to Raquel coming out, and then it ended with like her just coming out. But I feel like as a long-term Bravo fan, you kind of expect that. Right? Well, that's it. Part 2 is always a bit slower.
Yeah, it's always
And
the
I think
sort
we
of
got
filler
some good.
episode where you get a couple of bits, but it's nothing like
Yeah.
major. So, but I
Yeah,
thought
and
it
I
was
did
good.
enjoy all the behind the scenes parts. Like, you know, we got a lot of the trailer and sort of production. Like, we got a lot of the sort of production side of things, which I always enjoy.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's get into our sort of countdown. We couldn't keep it to 10 points, so we're just gonna have to go with it and just sort of recap some of the highlights basically. So first of all, straight out the gate, something that absolutely made me furious. Sandoval's comment to Lala. First of all, he called her a narcissist. Like, the audacity to call her a narcissist. He is triggering him something awful in this reunion. Like, he is coming for blood with her. So he starts off with the narcissist comment, and then he makes that outrageous comment about her taking out her IUD the minute stat. What was that? Where did that come from? And I'm annoyed that no one like came back at him for that.
I don't think anyone heard it. I think it was under and I think obviously the mic picked that up. No one would have heard that on stage. Yeah, I just don't even understand where that comes from in your head to say that. But the thing with narcissists is they remember everything because they and I mean, look, it's the word of the season on New Jersey, but these people have an arsenal of things against people.
So
that's
true.
What they do.
So true.
So
yeah,
him to have kept that somewhere, to just want to mention it at that point. I mean, it didn't even make sense for him to mention it at that point. Yeah.
So
it was
irrelevant.
That's the one thing he's got, and he wanted to be able to say it on camera. Yeah, he has not come across, like, honestly, and I know he's done so many awful things, but this reunion could have been some form of redemption for him, and he has made it a thousand times worse. He's
completely agree with you.
He's coming across so bad, and I just thought it's completely uncalled for. Also, completely untrue. Like, you've just made that up. That's your perception of what happened. You do not know.
How would he have any idea? Yeah, that's it. Like, where you're like,
is he trying to say that she just copies Stassi and everything she does? Is that what he was trying to get at? The fact that, like, she thinks she's the new Stassi or something? Like, I'm assuming that's what he thinks. He thinks Lala just wants to be Stassi. So
agree. That was clearly his angle. Yeah, I know. It is just
but yeah, I think that was absolutely awful, and it was just hilarious him trying to come at her about the narcissist comment, and then she's like, "No, it isn't, you dumb fuck," or whatever she said. And he's like, "Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is." And I just thought, oh, great argument, Tom. Great fucking argument.
I know, honest to God. Yeah, everything that comes out of her mouth is just triggering him big time.
Yeah, I know.
It's wild. But yeah, I guess speaking of Lala, we then sort of pivot to the Randall discussion. And yeah, I want to know, like, sort of what your thoughts are a little bit actually on when Lala was kind of questioned around sort of how her and Randall started, and, you know, like, her story seemed a little bit different, but I kind of got what she said, which was, you know, I didn't mean, I kind of understood it. Did you?
Me too. I understood it perfectly fine, and it pissed me off that Lisa had to jump in and say, "Oh no, you did say that you got with him on you let him hit it on the first date or whatever." And I'm like, "Yes, Lisa, first date. Listen to what she's saying." And also, how did you all not know that you met her in the restaurant? Because I knew that before she said it.
Yeah, I knew that exactly. She talked about that on the show, so it was kind of frustrating that they were all kind of coming at her about that. Lisa, oh my God, I had like a love-hate relationship with, I just, like, some of the things she was coming away with this episode, I was like, seriously. And then other times she was really lovely and empathetic and nice towards them. I was like, I can't make my mind up about her this season, but this reunion, she's just frustrating. But you're right, her side comments were frustrating.
So frustrating. Yeah, and then obviously Lana came out with making it clear that Randall used Harvey Weinstein's spokesperson.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That
Again,
was
very
telling.
very telling. Yeah, that's it. I know, it says it all, really. I really want to watch that Randall's Scandal, whatever the hell it's called. I can't find it anywhere.
Yeah.
So annoying.
Yeah, we can't get it over here.
No, I know. I thought we would have got it, but yeah.
Hulu let us have it in Australia.
I know. Come on. Disney Plus, we need it. But yeah, so I guess also then we had the whole, let's kind of jump into this whole trailer interaction between Sandoval and Rachel. It was rough to watch, and it was kind of awkward, uncomfortable. Oh.
Yeah. Did you think, I felt like she was going to kiss him when he came into the trailer and he hugged her, and so she like hugged him. It was really awkward. I was like,
some of it was really cringe. Yeah.
Oh, it is. So, and it's also like, even when they're like together, everything just seems so like, with him, it's like so intense and like laborious and like dramatic. And I feel like, why does she want that? Like, she has literally just come out of this like pretty explosive, like toxic relationship with James. Like, fair enough, but like, have you not had enough drama? Like, why are you like a moth to a flame with this? Like, get away from this sort of like, this is too much. Like, I don't know. I just thought, oh my God, like, can you imagine being a fly on the wall when they two are just like on a date, or like, you know, sitting in his house or whatever? It must be so fucking miserable. Like, because all they do is just like talk about everyone else. And I know they're on the reunion, I understand that, but it's like, it was like, how are you? Yeah, good. How are you? Oh. Like, it's just so fucking miserable. And I just thought, okay, you're not going to act really happy in front of the camera, but Raquel's quite happy to act happy in front of the camera when she's doing her interviews, you know? So like, it just all seemed very, it felt very serious and dark, but not for the right reasons. Not because they felt bad, just because it was like, how are we going to look out of this? Like,
yeah, it's all about their kind of image and trying as hard as they can to protect it. What did you think about her sort of making the dig of, oh, well, it does seem like you were much more intimate than you've told me or you've let on. So clearly what I wrote in the notes was that he's been lying to both of them, which, you know, isn't a surprise to anyone, but it's just crazy to me that she has the audacity to come for him when it's like, well, you've been with him the whole time you've been with him. He's been in a relationship. What did you expect? Obviously he's not letting on, but it's like, how dare you? Like, you really don't have a leg to stand on, isn't it? It's just crazy. Oh, how dare you still be intimate with your girlfriend?
Yeah, I did like the fact that she said it. I like the fact that she said it, and I like the fact she obviously said it on camera. Yeah. Well, I don't know if she's that smart, but I liked the fact that she said it on camera and called him out for it. However, you're absolutely right. She is an absolute cheek to be like, hold on a minute, were you still sleeping with your girlfriend when you were with her? That's wild.
I know, how dare you?
And then when she's like, I just feel like Ariana thought that the relationship was still good because you hadn't broke up with her. I'm like, no, duh, Rachel. Are you fucking joking? He's like, yeah. I'm like, what fucking planet are you both living on?
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, both of them.
You were still in a relationship because you didn't break up with her. Obviously. Like, oh, it was honestly. Do you know what though? See, through this episode, I actually laughed a lot more. Like, I was angry, but I was just laughing. I was like, is this for real? Are these people?
Because this
is their genuine reactions. This isn't put on. Like, and I'm like, what is going on?
It's wild. I know the ridiculousness of it is just, it's crazy. And Tom's sort of argument, if you will, about him still being intimate with Ariana was crazy. Like, oh yeah, well, yeah, like, you know, takes him 20 minutes to get a thought out. Like, come on, dude. And he's saying, you know, she used to come at me and tell me that I couldn't wear trout in the clip. Had me dying. He has these like green sequin pants on. I'm like, yeah, no wonder she's telling you, like, fucking ridiculous. But like, how is that?
Like the green.
Yeah. So I'm not a fan.
Yeah, he said, oh, she kept coming at me and saying, no, don't wear that. That's horrible. And like, and then he's like, and then it goes to the clip, and she is just saying, oh, I don't really like the green. Maybe not that one. Seriously. And he's asking for her opinion. So what the fuck does he expect? But then,
well, exactly.
The way that he smiled, Joe, the way that a smile came across his face when he said, but then she started being like, you know, Tom, you're really good at fashion. So like, then like, you know, things got a lot better. I'm like, sorry, what?
I know.
Like,
it's crazy.
Smile. He couldn't stop the smile from coming across his face when she said, I think you're really good at fashion, so you make up your own mind. Like, I trust what you're saying.
Yeah, because she fed his ego, which is what he wanted.
Yeah, it was so bad.
It is insane. Yeah, that whole interaction, and then we get the whole tantrum. I don't know what other way to describe it, of him going ballistic at production, losing his shit, because he wants some off-camera time with her. Like, how have you deserved that? Didn't you have enough time to prepare and plan? Like, come on, it's the day of the reunion. This is not, and I thought the producer handled it perfectly. It was like he was having to talk to a child at some point. It was like, here's your two options. Go have food. You can sit and talk to her, but there will be a camera there. Or you can go off and have some alone time. There's your two options. Deal with it.
Yeah.
You moron.
Yeah.
It's just insane. It's just ridiculous. He's such a brat.
Was funny. He's like, I'm entitled to a break. The producer's like, yeah, man, you can have a break just by yourself.
Yeah. Loved it. I absolutely loved it.
Why did you think he wanted to talk to her? Because I have a feeling I know what it was. Why do you think he wanted to talk to her off camera?
No, let me know yours. I don't know.
Well, people are saying, oh, maybe he just wanted to give her a kiss or whatever. I was like, what? I was like, what, you think now? You think now, after all this, he's going to want to be off camera to give her a kiss? I was like, no. He wants to tell her, did you see Schwartz say that he now found out in August? That's what he wants to fucking tell.
Yeah. So to quickly get that story straight.
Yeah.
Yeah. And because she's, you know, not the smartest, let's say, she's obviously, but it kind of also made me laugh when he came in and he was trying to like replay everything to her, and she's like, yeah, I've been watching. Yeah, like, obviously.
But he tries to do it all about like everyone else being so mean to him and like complete victimization again. That's what they do. That's what narcissist does. It's a blame game. Everyone else is the problem. So he tried to do that, and then when she was like, oh yeah, no, I've been watching it, he's like, okay. And then he's like, maybe I'll tell you the other stuff. Yeah. You know, it was funny.
So
very
true.
Funny. But yeah, he is fucking, honestly, like he hasn't done himself any favors, but he really hasn't done himself any favors with the way he spoke to production as well, because that really showed him in a light, like from what we would be used to seeing, really. And then he's like, true. I'm just stressed, man. I need a break, man. You know, dude. I was like, oh, shut the fuck up. Like, you are a grown man. You are at work. You're also at work. There's a difference, you know, like it is their lives and whatever else. I get it. But you're at work, act like a professional. You know?
Yeah, you signed up for this. Come on. And the producer said, well, the rest of them are sitting having lunch. There's a camera crew there, you know, like that. Fair is fair at the end of the day. And yeah, take some accountability. You've ran out of time. Like, you guys, you know, as he loves to coach and plan and prep, your time was up on that. You're here now, get on with it. That's it. He just probably doesn't trust that she can keep the story straight because, you know, well, why would he? Because she's, you know.
100%.
That's what he's worried about.
Himself. He's shit himself thinking, He's going to come out here.
What's she going to say?
Oh
my God, it's so true. I love it. Then we get a bit of a lighter moment though when we get Ali on the stage.
Oh,
I have really. Oh wait, what have I missed?
Wait, we didn't talk about the fact that she said they're trying to make us out to be liars. I mean, we haven't lied about anything besides the affair. I'm like,
oh my God, it's
Rachel.
Oh yeah, that one little white lie that we told. Everything else has been truthful. Are you joking?
Rachel, what is going on in your head? And
I know.
He did agree with her, but you could tell in his face, he's like, like, I think we did. That's a pretty big lie, but he was like, yeah.
He's like, yep, of course.
What is that? Like, because, okay, yes, you've lied about having an affair, but that wasn't just one lie, was it? Like,
no, of course not.
Lies upon lies upon lies upon lies. And I just
you've lied to everyone in your life. Like, you haven't lied to one person. You've lied to how many people? Like, they were confronted about it, that we now know. Like, Sheena confronted her along the way. Is anything going on? No, it's not. Like, you've lied to a lot of people. And
I know.
It's been an ongoing lie for a long, long time. It's just...
And it's
not delusion.
How lies work. Yeah.
No, I know.
Lies don't go by topic. You can't say, oh yeah, but I only lied about my job. I know I lied to thousands of people, for example, but like it's just the one lie about one thing.
Yeah.
That fucking work. If when you lie, you betray so many different people. It's the betrayal. It's not the actual lie that matters. It's the betrayal behind it.
And time again. Like, there's so many lies that contributed to this whole thing. It's crazy.
Why I'm like, and I know, like, people, I don't know what you can and can't say, but like, this just has to show that, like, she is not, like, and we have said it about 4 times on this podcast already, but she is not the sharpest tool in the shed. And like, that in itself, but not only does it show that she's dumb, it shows that she still has no sense of what she's done. Like, she still, it's as if she's like disassociated with it.
Yeah. I agree. And again, it shows in the way that she's acted so far in this whole process, like her one-on-one with Andy, her how we've seen her sort of behave throughout the whole reunion is kind of scary. And you're right, like, I want to know whether is she, like, I'd even go as far to wonder, is she medicated during this time? Like, is she being put on something, or I don't know. Well, Schwartz is bloody throwing around his pill bottle. Like, you don't know, is she on some sort of anti-anxiety medication? I don't know what it is, because it's starting to become very, very concerning, the lack of remorse, the lack of empathy, the lack of accountability here. It's very shocking.
It's worrying. I know.
But like, so I guess a slightly lighter note though is I really loved Ali coming out, and I think something that was just so clear with her sort of presence, like, on the stage and her whole time, was that how the group have really taken to her, including Lisa. Like, it just seems everyone is like her biggest fan, which I love, because they've clearly gotten to know her really well after even filming. So it's really sweet that we're seeing this side to her.
Yeah, and she had a couple of really, really valid points, and like, I thought, I actually really enjoyed. I know it was a step away from Sandoval, and she didn't really speak on it at all, which I thought was actually quite nice. She just kept it to what she knew and what she was going to talk about. But she did, like, she, at one point, she was talking about how Sandoval and Raquel had sort of done something that betrayed James or whatever, and you could tell she looked directly at Sandoval when she said it, and I thought, go you, like she, like, and I mean, I know you shouldn't compare, but the difference between her and Raquel is night and day.
Oh my God,
like,
night and day, absolutely. And she's not like a James apologizer either. Like, I think Raquel just turned a blind eye to anything that he did, and she was like, oh well, I don't have concrete evidence. Like, what? Whereas Ali will sort of call it out and say, oh yeah, I don't like him when he's drinking too much, or I didn't like that he said that, and I don't think he should be using that word. Like, she was really sort of direct about, no, I don't like any of this, and she's got him to go to therapy, all these things. It seems like she's just very mature and wise for, you know, within her relationship with him. It's really, really good to see.
Yeah, I loved her. What did you think about the whole James drinking conversation? I didn't like it.
Yeah, I didn't either. And, you know, I know there's a few different parts to it, but something I did really like was Lala sticking up for him. And thank God she did, because for the two of those Muppets to sit there, and I know Schwartz didn't get too involved in the conversation, but I just think it is insane that the two of you could sit and point the finger. If we're going to talk about anyone's drinking habits, partying habits, you two should get to the back of the queue. Do you know what I mean? And I'm so glad Lala said it. Sandoval especially. Like, we've seen it. You're a grown man. You're 40, whatever, however old he is. And he couldn't go 5 days without having a drink during the season. You know, it's your idea of quality time is taking mushrooms and getting fucked up and all. Like, shut up. At least James has made attempts to better himself. We've watched it. I get, but something you said earlier really checks out here about Sandoval. That Atlantic City story, ready to go with that. The first opportunity to throw him under the bus. Okay, here we go. I've got this again in his arsenal. It's so true.
Yeah. And you know what? That clearly happened before James was with Ali. However, Sandoval
I wanted to know that,
but he didn't make that clear, did he? He didn't make it clear, like, because he wanted it to look like James had done it while he was with Ali. But it was very, very obvious from everyone else's reactions that wasn't a thing. Like, even Ali was like, yeah, whatever. Like, you know, so
who cares?
But it was like Sandoval just wanted, he's doing anything to discredit James though, because he wants to make it clear that, like, it wasn't that much of a betrayal for James because James is a bad person. That's what he's trying to do, right? He's trying to justify his actions by being like, me and James weren't friends. James is a really shitty person. James has ruined so many things for me. And it's like, well, like, and that story was, it was ready to go. And I just thought it came out of nowhere again. I thought, how dare you? And then the worst part of it all, he goes, well, you know, when I get drunk, I don't slap girls on the ass. I was like, hello. And then Ariana's like, yeah, you just fuck my friend. And he's like, that's irrelevant. That's irrelevant. I'm like,
how is it irrelevant? I know. It is just unbelievable. You're right. Yeah, and it just shows, and he can't make that connection. He can't make that connection between, because he's blaming James's drinking with when he does things like that. But it's like, hang on a minute. We now know of multiple occasions where you've been on nights out, you were at Coachella, drunk in a hot tub, telling her that you and Ariana are open. It seems like the common denominator in all of these situations is you drinking and partying. So there is a connection there. You hooked up after a night out. That was the first time you and Raquel got together, when poor Ariana's in the house. Like, it's just insane. And he said to someone, what did he say? That's your get out of jail free card. Was that? I think that was about that. And it's like,
he said it 3
hello,
times.
Obviously it is. Yeah. Look around. Like, he's just, it is unbelievable.
But I do think he, in his head, saw that as different, because he's like, but I wouldn't disrespect a random girl by, you know, slapping her on the ass. But you've disrespected your girlfriend of 9 years, Tom. Like, how's that fair? Is disrespect, you know? You can't, it's not of course. Rules for the other. You can't say, oh, but I would never do that. Yeah, well, you know what? Like, it is unacceptable for James to do that. Completely agree, especially if it was unwarranted or whatever. But what you've done, they're not comparable in a way where it's like, oh yeah, but I would never do that. But you did this, so you still disrespect women. So it negates everything you're trying to say. And it's like, he doesn't get it though, because that's the way they are. Like, they're, and at the end of the day, like I said last week, his justification for this affair is never good enough, because it never is anything about him or even about Raquel. It's all about Ariana. Like, and he's trying to justify it by saying the reasons he gives are the reasons for the breakdown in a relationship or the reasons for breaking up with someone. But he can't, like, it's because he's probably disassociated as well. I don't know, but it's just the way he is. And unfortunately, that's the way narcissists are. There's never a moment where they have any self-awareness or any sort of self-reflection. That just doesn't happen, you know, because it's everyone else's.
Well, yeah, they're the victim and everyone else is in the wrong. And it's just, again, ridiculous. What did you think about the whole conversation around Tom trying to come at Ariana again for, well, you know, you weren't honest on the show, you didn't show all of our problems. Like, that really pissed me off, because and what I did like Lisa saying, actually, Lisa turned around to him and said, so what, you've been making a bullshit reality show while you're questioning everyone else on their accountability. And it was good because it was her kind of saying, well, hang on a minute, there's two of you in this relationship, so what, you weren't honest either? And he's blaming Ariana for it, of course, but then everyone was quick to jump in and say, but Ariana has been honest about how many things on this show. Like, even in season 8, like just a couple seasons ago, she spoke really candidly about her depression and how much she was suffering and struggling. And she spoke about intimacy issues from quite early on in their relationship. It's going back to season sort of 4 or 5, you know. I just think it was, insane for him to kind of try and put the blame on her for that when he's Mr. Accountability all the time. You haven't been accountable for this.
Yeah, and I think she didn't have any reason to talk shit about their relationship because she was happy. So if he was the one who was feeling unhappy or feeling like they weren't in a good place or whatever, that's on him to bring that up. It's on him.
So true.
And he never, ever, ever did it before this season, before saying, and actually he never brought it up on this season until after him and Raquel started becoming a thing, you know? So
true.
He's just, he's full of it. But like you said, any reason to blame other people is just, okay, let's get into this actually, because this was the most frustrating moment of the thing. Sandoval's pause while he was trying to think what to say for Sheena, like for what happened with Sheena and Raquel, was just painful. Like, there was no need for it. He was trying to look like he was really battling with what to say and, you know, oh gosh, who do I betray here? And it was like, no, you knew what you were going to say the whole fucking time. You always knew you were going to say, oh, I heard Sheena say, I just punched that bitch. Like, I knew that's what he was going to say. What did you think though? Because I mean, that was just pathetic. But what did you think about the fact that like Lala, Sheena and Ariana were all ready to go and ready to come at him? Like, I think it possibly did happen, right? Like, I don't know. But I also just love the fact that Lala was like, she never said that to me on the phone. And Ariana's like, she said pushed, not punched. I was like, fucking go, girls. Like, all have each other's back, regardless. Like,
jump straight to her defense.
And I thought I mean, for all the things that he's done, did he really have to say anything? Really? Like, and I know it is the reason why I think she did it is because it was a little bit telling when Sheena was like, Sandoval. I was like, oh, maybe she did do it, but also I'm like, so what if she did it?
Well, like, exactly, that's it. And I just think at the end of the day, I think where Tom took that stupidly long pause and was like, oh, what do I do? And it's only because if he was to sit there and say nothing, then it looks like Raquel's a liar. So he is battling that I need to stick up for Raquel here. And I think that's obviously the sort of why it's taken him so long to come out with it.
But also, why couldn't he just say, I wasn't there, I'm not sure, I don't know?
Well, exactly. Yeah, I don't want to comment on it. I know that Sheena's in a difficult position. I know that it's a difficult situation in general. And like for her to say, I want to save your friendship, or no, something about, you know, about his friendship with Sheena, when Ariana just like screams at him, just like, you don't have one. And then when she shushed him, oh my God, I laughed out loud at that moment. It was so good. Like, she just, anything he said, she was ripping into him. But yeah, poor Sheena, like, it really broke my heart when she broke down, basically, and spoke about, you know, just how much of an impact and an effect it had on her, and everyone around them tearing up, crying, visibly upset. And Raquel looks like she just sat watching like a TV show at home. It's crazy. It's like she's not in it. Like, it's like she's watching something that's got nothing to do with her.
Exactly. And it was just crazy. Like, oh, I feel like I should have maybe written Sheena a personal note now. Like, what? No. You think...
Yeah, no.
What? A personal note? What the fuck are you talking about? Like,
what's that going to do now?
Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
What would that do? I mean, you're literally watching her.
Too little, too late. Yeah, like, exactly. Like, this is like, the best you've got.
That exactly. I mean, it just, and it adds up. Like, I mean, the way she that text she sent to Ariana after the fact, you know, the apology text, she's just got not like, she's just not got a sorry bone in her body. Honestly, she just really doesn't.
Agree.
But yeah, she was then Raquel, and then the way she sort of like smiled and laughed about it, I was like, oh, she's like so not good. Let's get into the one-to-one with Andy, because that was kind of where this is. Andy was so confused the whole time. His reactions were just like incredible. He was like, when she was saying, you know, I just sort of thought that, like, yeah, it would all work out and everything would be fine. He's like, huh? And
he literally cocks his head. He's like, really? I agree. It was so fascinating to watch him.
Yeah, because he's obviously trying to be like completely, you know, no opinion, completely like just interviewing her, trying to get the most. He wants to obviously make her feel comfortable enough to talk as well. And you could tell he was just finding it so difficult with what she was saying. Like, he was just so confused, as we all were. I
know. Yeah, Andy is all of us, literally.
Yeah.
It is just wild. And the fact, when I'm glad he sort of did say to her at one point, it kind of sounds like you're blaming her, because it's bonkers. And it shows that Raquel is just going along with Sandoval's sort of argument against that. You know, it's like, well, you know, she didn't want to know. And it's like, really? Like, that's really the stance you're going to take here?
I know. That is what I thought as well, though. I thought that he coached her in that one, because she said the exact same things as Sandoval said before.
Yeah.
And I mean, she's like, I mean, it's just like, she never asked me. She never asked me directly if I was having an affair with her boyfriend. I'm like, yeah, because you're her best fucking friend, and she didn't believe it.
Yeah.
What?
Exactly. She trusted you, God forbid.
Like, genuinely. And then she's like, I mean, every time she asked him, she just took what he said at face value. I'm like, what fucking world are we living in?
I know, it is crazy. And then I love that Andy said it kind of sounds like you're blaming her, because it's like, well, hang on a minute, this is insane. Like,
I know.
Yeah, she just completely sort of co-signed everything he said, and it's been planned and prepared. But again, she's a bit of an idiot, because when Andy had sort of asked, like, oh, did Tom coach you, or did he, you know, did you and him sort of kind of plot what you were going to say? She just is like brazen as anything. Like, yeah, we did. We've spoken about it a lot, actually.
Yeah. And what other people are going to say, and how we're going to, you know, what we're going to say back.
How we react. It's like, okay, so he's taught you every single thing to say. But didn't you think as well, she came into it very, I don't know, like very sort of rehearsed.
Yeah.
Like it was, and obviously we've heard from multiple sources that she used to like to plan her lines, and she'd come into scenes with like the preparation and reunions especially. And she just still can't really shake that pageantry thing, can she?
Yeah.
Like she's just 100%. Very... Yeah, when she was sat down, she's like, I know I need to be accountable. I've got to take... And it's like,
that's why
you don't.
I'm here.
You're just saying that.
Yeah, it was so, and then he's like, what are you expecting from the reunion? She's like, expecting the worst, hoping for the best. I was like, well, that's a line someone's told you. Like, like
someone fed you that line. Yeah, it's just, it's crazy.
It was
My
really,
God.
but then when he was like, oh, do you want to come back? Would you like be interested in coming back? He's like, yeah, I would really want to come back. I thought, oh wow, honestly, if
That was
she is on my screen
telling.
next season, I'm gonna lose the fucking plot. I'm really gonna lose it.
I know. Hopefully she won't be allowed. It seems like people will intervene, like her parents and her family and things. I mean, if you've got any shred of sort of, wanting to keep you, sort of improve your mental health, she won't be back for this show.
Yeah.
And surely her parents will not allow it.
If this is a genuine relationship, and this is genuinely for genuine, but if this is for reasons that they are in love and they were best friends, they're now in love, then this relationship will last without the show. So I don't want her back on the show. I don't actually, call me crazy, but I don't mind if Sandoval's back on the show, because I want Jax and every single other person to just fucking come for him. So I don't mind seeing that, right? But I do not want her back on that show, because I know the only reason she's with him is because she wants a bigger part on this show, because this is how she sees it. She doesn't see it as other people's life. She thinks that she's going to be the new Ariana. Ariana's going to be the new Kristen. That is exactly, he 100% thought that. She thought she's going to be,
I agree.
The new Ariana, and Ariana, Raquel and Tom are going to be the power couple and all that. And it just is not, it's not going to fly with me, honestly. I'm going to be so mad if that happens. And I don't want anyone to be going and supporting them. Like, I don't want anyone to forgive them for that.
No.
Like,
no,
it's exactly.
Yeah, it's insane. It really is. But I did think it was telling that her response was, yeah, of course I'd want to come back. And it totally checks out with what you're saying, that she's done it to sort of climb the ladder and to sort of, try and get that sort of number one spot. And it's like, oh my God, no. Last thing that I want to touch on just quickly is, what did you think about the whole green light, Xanax bottle comes out? What the fuck is that? Like, do you think it was anything to do with it? Or do you think it was just bizarre?
Yeah, the Xanax bottle, I think, was just Schwartz trying to lighten the mood a little bit in a weird way. I think he obviously, they were already filming. He didn't do it in his dressing room. He did it on purpose, right? He did it for a bit of a comedic effect. He thinks he's funny.
Yeah.
But, and it kind of did. It actually did lighten the mood slightly. It actually
it was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, their responses, I thought, were quite funny. Yeah.
Yeah, so completely get that. I think green light was obviously there'll be a green light when someone's coming on set or whatever, something like that. So it'll be like that. He was just saying it to Schwartz as in oh shit, she's coming. This is it kind of thing.
This is happening. Yeah, right. Got you. Yeah. But that's exactly what I put in my notes. I said I can't work out if I enjoyed that whole bit he was doing or I found it pathetic. Maybe it's a bit of both.
I know. It was a little bit over the top.
Yeah. Exactly, but like you said, it gave us a bit of a laugh.
Exactly. It was a really good episode, and part 3, honestly.
Oh my God, I'm ready. I'm so ready.
It's all I
know.
But we'll get there.
And and can I just quickly say, because I just seen a bit of a teaser that I haven't seen already this morning on next week's episode. So people keep pointing out that the whole last 5 minutes, the revelation, what are we going to know? It's got Schwartz, a focus on him and his head in his hands. And I'm like, again, they could be just throwing us off the scent a little bit, but I do wonder, and it makes me think, could we be, or should we be expecting, I don't know, a threesome allegation? Or, I did hook up with Schwartz. And yes, you did. I did hook up with Schwartz. There's something, because again, I just think it can't be when they're.
But why would that make none of them want to come back?
Well, and also I keep going back to the whole, Lala only just found out what it was, and they want the reaction from all of the cast. So it's got to be something that she drops on her one-on-one. It can't be, or it's it keeps throwing back to her in her confessional, which is the same confession, so it's got to be something she said. And it's the cast shouldn't know about it until it airs,
I
right?
know. Yeah. Yeah, they won't know.
So yeah, I don't know. I wonder.
Yeah, it's I think they're just trying to throw us off a bit there, but I do think it must be something she said in that confessional before she was coached by Sandoval for the reunion, you know, while they were still in the midst of, that was literally just after, because that's her confessional look from when she says, oh, she just wanted to have sex with someone she was in love with. So like, it's obviously just after everything's broke, they've got her in a confessional, and this is what she's talking about. I think it has to be something to do with that, like Sandoval. And I still think it has to be the timeline. It has to be. And I think it's going to be that it happened before, like she got with him before she broke up with James. I think it's
and that's why she called off the engagement.
Yeah.
I think it's the one that checks out the most, I would say, but we'll find out next week. I cannot wait.
Can't wait. Okay, I'm quickly going to go recap New Jersey, and I'm going to rank the reunion looks, and you can tell me if you agree. So in last place, I've got Rachel Fuda. I thought I liked her hair, but I didn't like the color of that dress, and I didn't like the big thing on the shoulder. It was just a bit too much for me. And then I had Jen Aiden placed, because again, I loved her hair and makeup. I would have loved the curly hair, because I loved that this season. The curls that she has. And I loved her earrings, but the dress just felt a bit like dated and like could be from a reunion in 2009. Didn't really love it. Didn't compare to the rest of them. Okay, then I had Melissa, because like, okay, she looks amazing, but it was giving me like Little Blue Riding Hood. Like, it was like it was not a look really. The sequins made it look a bit cheap as well. It obviously wouldn't have been cheap, but what did you think?
I quite liked Melissa's, but I think I get so clouded by how just stunning she is. She's gorgeous. Her hair and makeup always look flawless at reunions. The hood, I could have done without the hood, obviously. But when it was actually down and she was sat there, I just think she looked stunning. But you're right, the dress itself, she looked gorgeous. But
would you go out
the hood was no, obviously not. But I love the color. I will say it was like a beautiful color on her.
Yeah, it was a good color.
But I'm a bit biased with her because I just think she's stunning.
Yeah, you're a bit obsessed. Okay. So
hence why I'm not a fan of Teresa.
Yeah, I know. So then I had Danielle, because I love that she went for like the whole low cut, like it was a really, really sexy dress. It looked so good on her. And I thought that was a bold move for your first reunion, because you don't know where you're going to be popping out when you're sitting down on that chair or on that sofa. But she looked great. And I actually loved it. I wouldn't wear the dress, so I put it in like fourth, but she looked amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, third place, I had Teresa, because although I didn't love the dress that much, like she looked so good in it, and her hair just stole
her
everything.
Hair.
Wow,
gorgeous.
What a transformation from the
I know. Like, talk about night and day. That cut on like that length, gorgeous, so nice.
Made me want to cut.
Yeah, I agree.
Made me want to cut.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
And then I had Margaret in second place, because I genuinely loved that dress. Like, I will wear that dress. That was stunning.
Amazing.
And she was so simple and classy and elegant in comparison to the rest of them that were all sparkled up and whatever. I just thought she's fab. I actually always loved Margaret's clothes, I think. But
I thought it was the best she's looked. She looked amazing.
Yeah, first place I put Dolores. She looked incredible. She looked so good, her hair, makeup and everything, but that dress was so different from the rest of them. Like, she just didn't do the blue yellow theme. I was like, okay, go you.
The color was gorgeous. Yeah.
Such a good color on her. She looked like she was in a fairy tale. Like, she genuinely, I was like, I'm obsessed and I want that dress.
Yeah.
So good. They all did turn it up this reunion episode. It was so good from all of them. Like, their looks. They looked immaculate. Okay, so I'm just going to do my top 5 bombshells from New Jersey. The reunion episode was really good. I really loved it. But there were a good few bombshell or like things that came out, revelations that I was like, oh, did not know that. First of all was Teresa saying Melissa has to be out of her life after the reunion. I was like, wow, that's a bit of a statement. like your family.
Yeah, a bit harsh.
Anyway, fourth was Louis wanted to go out with Alexia from Miami prior to dating
Not
Teresa.
a shock.
And Alexia was
Like shocking. Yeah, it's shocking, but not a shock to me.
Yeah, but I just thought, and Teresa doesn't even like really discount it. Like she just sort of talks over them. I was like, wow, that's embarrassing. Third was that Frank still lives with David. Frank, get your own house. Get your own house, Frank. Okay.
But the best thing was when Andy was like, yeah, someone built my house. I don't live with them.
I know.
It is very weird.
The bombshell that they tried to come out with Dolores was the fact that, like, the way the editing was the fact that Polly hasn't been divorced yet, but like he's been separated for 14 years. So it's like, yeah, like we're not going to go down that route of trying to say she's like that's just like, I don't know.
It was
I just
anticlimactic.
Yeah. And
I
thought I love the fact that Dolores was just like, no, yeah, he's not divorced yet. Like, was so upfront and honest, and I just thought it's nice. Like, she clearly doesn't have any skeletons in her closet with Polly, and I just it was just really nice to see. Okay, so second was Andy in the in-between parts, in the sort of ad breaks, saying that Ben wants a second dad. Ben says he wants another dad. Like, oh my gosh, I actually love when Andy talks about Ben and Lucy on any
show. Do I. I'm obsessed. Oh, my boyfriend actually just bought me his book for my birthday.
Oh my god, did you get it?
Yeah.
What was pre-order?
No, it's coming in it's gonna come in a few weeks. So okay. I don't know. Again, living in Australia, life gets difficult sometimes because we can't get a hold of anything. So it's coming. So I'll give it to you after, obviously.
Can't wait. Okay, and then the final bomb was Teresa accusing Melissa and Joe of putting her in jail. Hello? What? All because Jacqueline told her something. I was like, this just gets worse and worse and worse for them. And it looks like the next episode is going to be explosive. I mean, why? This has actually been a pretty decent season. I know we moaned a lot about the drama continuing on, but I think with this reunion, I mean, Melissa was not forgiving in. Like, she went down fighting in this reunion. You can tell.
Yeah,
like,
good on her.
She's so sassy. It's actually quite funny the way she's reacting to Teresa. And I'm like, good for her though, because I feel like they've been steamrolled the whole time. Like, Teresa always tries to like she always comes for them harder. And I just love the fact that Melissa is like, I've had enough. You can tell she's so angry. So angry. But
rightly so.
Yeah.
But also, can I just say, like, who hasn't been accused at this point of putting Teresa in jail? Everyone except her bloody husband at the time. Like, seriously, she loves to pull that card.
I know.
Like, you're really going to accuse your own brother and sister-in-law? Like, even Andy was like, really?
I know.
Come on. Just ridiculous. But I am looking forward to next week's, because it is explosive. It was a lot of reunions. I know, obviously, you're not watching Summer House yet, but
I watched it.
We had like 3. Oh, did you? Yeah. It's quite good, wasn't it?
It was. The
For a very crappy season.
Really brought it. I mean, it was like Lindsay versus everyone, and I did feel a bit bad at some points, but like, it was really good. It was a really good episode.
Very explosive. Paige came out fighting, and I'm actually not too mad about it. Like, some of the things she said I thought were a bit ridiculous. Like, I didn't like the whole job comment. I just think, oh, shut up. Like, we're all sitting here, yous are all making money right now on this is a job. Okay, so that was silly to me.
It wasn't. I quite liked it though, but like, yeah, it was completely ridiculous, but I did like
totally ridiculous, but I just love how she was. And I think, like, I'm a big fan of Paige, and she sometimes gets accused of not doing enough or being a bit of a mean girl and stuff on the show. I think they've just had enough. And she's it's just coming for them. So it's actually quite enjoyable to see.
Although I hated that thing on her neck, that big flower on her neck. What? Like, Paige is the most stylish of all the Bravo.
Yeah.
absolutely
Oh
love
yeah,
her style.
same.
That did not deliver. Like whoever made that decision was completely wrong. But because I can't take anything she says seriously because she looks like
No.
a idiot with that thing on her neck.
And also, can I
Amanda's
just
look was
like,
beautiful.
speaking of, yeah, well, I was gonna say, like, New Jersey, we had such strong looks in Summer House. Like, some of
Yeah.
it was a bit of a disaster. Like,
Yeah.
Sam, no, get
No.
that off. And then
Yeah.
you've got Maya with who picked Maya's look? The green cargo pants and the blue
Oh,
crop top.
she loves a cargo
Like,
pant. I swear she loves a
no.
cargo pant. I know. Not for a reunion.
But
And
to a
also
reunion, yeah.
Lindsay's looked really cheap and
Oh,
tacky.
I
It
didn't
looked
like
cheap.
that.
No.
Who else did we have? I thought Ciara looked good. Ciara.
Yeah.
Amanda looked stunning. She always again, I love her style. She's gorgeous.
I
Yeah,
thought the
some of
guys
it
looked
was
good.
just not. The guys did look good. Poor Chris. I feel like he's not got enough airtime. I've actually quite enjoyed him as well this season. He's literally said no words. It's terrible. But yeah, I'll be intrigued to see how that finishes up. I assume it's just going to be like a two-parter for Summer House because that season didn't really.
They got through a lot in
also done. Yeah, it was. They came out sort of quite explosive for the first episode, but yeah, we've got 3 more to go next week. 3 more reunions. I love it.
What a week! Yeah, let's
so
just
good.
Hurry up. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Just roll on.
Exactly.
Can't
Makes
wait.
it a little easier to get to Thursday though when we do have the back-to-back, I guess, because we're like, right, okay, we can get prepped. And then I like that Vanderpump is the last one of the week. And then I watch it like 5 times anyway, so.
Exactly. I was literally refreshing my page for the extended version, like, hurry up, where is it? Like, it's sad. I don't know what we're going to do when this is over. Like, we're going to need
I don't.
Like, we're going to need a therapy group or something.
we absolutely are. I can't cope. But what's his
group.
name? Brad did say that the way it's looking at the moment is that cameras are going to be picked back up end of June.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
so
but
that's
we
quite
get
soon.
It for ages.
I know. We have to wait.
We just
how
have to
long?
live for the Instagram stories. That's what we need to live for.
And the podcast.
Yeah, because they have been delivering.
Yes. Lala's is like my favorite each week. But yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like that was
meant to have James on. Sheena's meant to have James on soon.
Oh, yay. Because apparently he doesn't like podcasts.
No, but that would be a really good one.
Yeah, definitely.
Another fantastic week of content and another one still to go. Can't wait.
I know. Exciting. Well, thank you for listening and we'll be back next week.